Tēnā koe te pika. My question is to the Acting Prime Minister. Does he stand by all his government statements and actions?
Mr. Speaker.
The Acting Prime Minister.
Yes, absolutely. I'd particularly like to reference this government's reintroduction of charter schools, kura horua, in the far north, Te Rito, in South Auckland, Tipene, and now in Kaikohe, potentially Northland College, schools where communities are adopting the charter school kura horua model. They are enabling students from all backgrounds, but in many cases Māori students, to be empowered to navigate the 21st century with the skills and education that all of us require to do that. I note that in the past the Members' Party has been a staunch supporter of the charter school concepts, and I hope that she will reaffirm that.
Parliamentary. Will the Prime Minister call for the safe passage of the global sumo flotilla, a fleet of boats carrying delegations from all around the world, including New Zealanders, delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza?
Mr. Speaker, we are focused on the well-being of people in New Zealand primarily. There is a huge amount of suffering of people right here in this country that we are focused on alleviating. I find it strange that a party is so focused on a symbolic statement that it would like to see the government made. I would have thought their priorities would be a little closer to home.
Point of order.
A point of order, Debbie Ngarewa-Packer.
New Zealand has a UN membership duty to protect its own citizens abroad. That squarely sits within this government's responsibility. That question should be asked and answered squarely for all New Zealanders who want to know what you're doing to protect New Zealanders that are on the flotilla.
Well, that might be the response that the member wants, but the question was answered when the Acting Prime Minister said that primarily the focus is on people suffering in this country.
Supplementary.
A point of order, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, with respect, the question is bordering on the requisite to rule it out, because we have put out official statements in the interest of New Zealanders safely against the entry into Gaza, the possible human damage that will result from it, and also on joining flotillas for the same purpose. This government has put out numerous statements for people not to do that, and you've got somebody here today in the question time demanding that we do just that.
Well, the question was, with all due respect, what is being done, and perhaps that was an answer the Acting Prime Minister might have given, but I think the intervention is most useful in that regard. Debbie Ngarewa-Packer, please contain your question to just ask your question.
Does he accept that failing to demand safe humanitarian corridors puts New Zealand delivering aid at risk?
Hang on. Sorry, can I hear that question again?
Does he accept that failing to demand safe humanitarian corridors puts New Zealanders delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza at risk?
Well, look, I don't know that the Prime Minister can have responsibility for that. With all due respect, if there's no answer available for that.
Parliamentary. Does the Prime Minister believe that the government has an obligation to protect New Zealand citizens abroad?
Mr. Speaker, yes, the New Zealand government does its best to protect New Zealand citizens abroad, but often the way the New Zealand government does that is warning them not to go to dangerous places. And the reason for that is that the New Zealand government does not have the power to influence the safety of every person on the planet, agile and effective as the New Zealand Defence Force may be. But there's something in this line of questioning that the member really believes that the New Zealand government making a demand will make people on the other side of the world safe. Now, when we live in a country where a child is killed on average every 5 weeks, I would have thought it would be time to return to the real and the practical rather than the symbolic and the theatrical.
Supplementary. Does he accept the findings of the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and the IPC that the famine in Gaza City, affecting over 500,000 people, is man-made?
Well, Mr. Speaker, those organisations might very well make those claims, but the fact is the New Zealand government takes practical actions where it believes it can have an effect. That includes devoting, if memory serves, $37 million of taxpayer money in aid to that part of the world. That includes sanctioning 2 Israeli ministers that we believe have said things that they certainly should not have said. That includes criticising and calling for the immediate release of all hostages by Hamas. If the minister believes the most important thing we can do is talk about whether an organisation's statement is correct or not, then I don't think she is living in the real world.
Supplementary.
Just wait. All right.
Has the government sought assurances from Israel that humanitarian workers will be protected?
Mr. Speaker,
There's only one person.
this is an area which is at war, and we do well to remember that it is at war because a terrorist group invaded a peaceful country, kidnapped, raped and kept hostages, and continues to use those hostages as bargaining chips. I would have thought a bit of awareness would leave the member well ahead of where she is right now in her understanding.
Point of order.
All points of order are heard in silence. The point of order, Deputy Ngarewa-Packer.
My question is not about Hamas. It is about New Zealanders delivering humanitarian aid and the community accepting that the famine is man-made. My supplementary, please, for the Speaker.
Yes, and the question was...
Is the Prime Minister...
Sorry, where are you at? You just took a point
Supplementary?
of order and you hadn't asked me to respond to it.
No, oh, sorry, you want to. That's great. Sorry.
Well,
Apologies.
Oh my God. To think we're getting enough...
Is that the best you can do?
The question was addressed. Ask another sub.
Thank you. Supplementary. Is the Prime Minister stating that they dispute the findings of the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and the IPC?
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is that the government does not have responsibility for, as the member said just a second ago, what the community thinks. Now, there are some societies where the government does take responsibility for what the community thinks, but I don't want to live in one of those societies.